Interestingly, the main reason that migrants used to leave their countries up to about 3 years ago, the number one reason they gave was poverty. Just grinding poverty, unable to feed their families. In the last 2 years, the number one reason for fleeing has become violence. So the situation is that you've got a crisis in Central America, in the countries of Honduras, in Guatemala, and in El Salvador. And so what's happening is more and more of them are leaving those countries because they're forced to leave. They're forced to leave their homes, their families, their jobs because of what's happening to them. The situations in those countries has continued to deteriorate. It's not like your standard conflict with one warring side against another warring side. This is gangs. People in those countries are no longer able to sustain a decent quality of life, and they're forced to flee. They're leaving because they have no choice. I remember asking one person, are you really willing to risk your child on this route? And she said, what's my alternative? My alternative is to leave my child there where he'll either go into the gangs and be killed before he's 18, or he doesn't go into the gangs and he'll be killed because he's not in the gangs. Now, with the increasing violence that we're seeing on the route, there are kidnappings, there are gang rapes, there are people abducted, there are people disappearing. We have no idea of the numbers of people that are disappearing. This is happening in Mexico today. These are people who are fleeing for genuine reasons. They're not dangerous people, they're not coming here to steal jobs, they're coming because they cannot anymore live in their country. So there's a lot of comparisons you can see with what's happening on the Mediterranean crisis. You can start to see that the same drivers are forcing people to leave their homes. So this is an important crisis because as societies, we need to recognize what's happening to these people. We need to be able to have solidarity with these people and understand what's happening to them and respond in the correct way. And MSF is one of the organizations providing mental health care, providing care for people who've been victims of sexual violence or who have wounds from the journey to help them to be able to carry on their journey. There really need to be some state responses, and there's going to be a lot of work for the Mexican state. Otherwise, I get really fearful. We criminalize people who are forced to flee from their homes. This is wrong. This goes against all the international conventions that we agreed to. We need to treat these people with humanity. They need to be treated, have their basic human rights, be given the rights that they need and what they need in order to be able to resettle somewhere that they can find peace for their families. I think that we can do the right thing, but it requires us to use our voices and to speak out about what's going on.